Hey book nerds, welcome to my channel. So today I'm doing, finally, a very delayed physical book haul. So if you don't know, I moved to York a few months ago. I moved in September because I'm now a PhD student and that means I'm very, very poor. So I kind of stopped buying physical books, except I didn't stop buying physical books, I just started buying them secondhand. Because it turns out I now live 2 doors down from a charity shop which has all paperback books 50p and all hardbook books £1, regardless of quality or how new they are. And I've got quite a lot of books from there and from other secondhand charity shops. So yeah, I'm just going to go through some of the books that I've bought since moving in here in September. There will also be an ebook haul, I think, coming soon because that's really overdue. But yeah, without further ado, I'll start going through them. So the first book I got is actually a second-hand one, and it is The Golden Age of Murder by Martin Edwards. This is quite a hefty one. It's non-fiction, and it is about the crime fiction written between the 2 world wars, I believe. Yes, the 2 world wars, so basically the golden age of crime fiction. So it mentions Agatha Christie, Dorothy Sayers, and it basically talks about the impact they had and what happened at the time and kind of everything surrounding that. I could not pick this up. I'd never heard of this book before, but it's right up my street. If you don't know, I'm obsessed with Agatha Christie, and I haven't really read any other crime fiction from around that period, but I really want to know more about that time period and kind of what was happening and all that stuff. So I'm really glad I managed to find this. Sorry, I keep moving. I've got really awkward lighting in this room, so if I move my head slightly, the light is just awful, so I have to stay like this, which is really awkward from filming a haul. But the next book I picked up was The Last Summer of the Garrett Girls. This is by Jessica Spotswood, and it's a contemporary. I've never actually heard of this book before, but this is one of the 50p ones that I picked up, and I picked it pretty impulsively. It's in quite good condition. This is basically about 4 sisters, and they're spending a summer, and it's told from all 4 points of view. And basically they all just have different plot lines going on. So one of them's in love with another girl, one of them's going to college with her boyfriend, one of them is in a play, and one of them's just like the older sister taking care of everyone else. I don't know if I'll like this, but like I said, it was an impulse buy and I thought it sounded kind of cool. I do tend to like contemporaries in the summer, so I'll probably save it till then, especially because it's summer themed, but hopefully it'll be good. The next book was definitely a charity shop impulse buy, and it is Fates and Furies by Groff. So I picked this up because I've heard so many people talk about it, and I wasn't sure if it was on my TBR, and thankfully it was, so I'm glad I got it. But this is basically an adult contemporary about a marriage, and it's about like 24 years of this marriage, and that's all I really know about it. It's like a deep exploration of these 2 people's relationship. This could be really good, this could be not my kind of thing at all. I can't remember who I heard talking about it, but there was a specific person who talked about it that was the reason I picked it up. And I don't think I would have if I hadn't heard about it from this person. But yeah, it's a hefty hardback, which I don't normally like, but also again, pretty good condition, second-hand impulse buy. Next we have a book I've already read, but it was in such good condition that I had to buy it for 50p, and that is Tequila Kingdom by Alexandra Christo. This is a retelling of The Little Mermaid, kind of. It's a really vague retelling of The Little Mermaid, to be honest. I don't think it kind of stands on its own as a fantasy book. It's got some things in common, but not really. It's about I think she's a siren. Yes, she's a siren princess, and she has to eat the hearts of princes. And so I think she pretends to be a human to get close to a human prince to eat his heart, and then stuff starts happening. There's a little bit of romance, there's a little bit of all sorts, lots of fantasy. I really enjoyed this. My friend did not like this book at all, and it's gotten mixed reviews, but I really enjoyed it, and like I said, this is like fantastic condition. It's got some peeling on the cover, but otherwise it's barely been touched, so I could not pick it up. On a similar vein, Only Ever Yours by Louise O'Neill. This is one of my favourite books of all time, genuinely, and I don't own a physical copy, but because it was only 50p, I got this, and it's again almost perfect condition. So I'm really happy about this. I'm gonna reread this soon, actually. I really want to. It's been a while, and every time I've reread it, I've read it in literally a day. I've just dropped everything to read this book because it's so compelling. But yeah, I'm really happy I've got this. It's about time I had a physical edition, and I quite like this cover as well. It's very, I don't know, striking and yet simple. The next book I got is The Nine Tailors by Dorothy L. Sayers. So I mentioned when I was talking about the Golden Age of Murder that I haven't actually read any of her books, and I still haven't. But I own a couple in these editions now. I've got them all secondhand. I think this is the fourth one I've picked up. And they are really beautiful. And I saw this and I knew I had to get it because I'm collecting them. This one in particular is about a body that's found in the wrong grave, I believe, and then they're trying to unravel a murder that happened 20 years ago. But yeah, ultimately I want to collect all of them in these editions. I can't remember how many there are. I think there's like 14 or something. So I'm going to pick them up whenever I can. Next book is a little embarrassing, but since when have I started hiding things from you guys on this channel? And it is Isle of the Lost by Melissa de la Cruz. So this is the book for Descendants, which is the Disney Channel kids movie. So High School Musical obviously was part of my childhood, and it's become one of my favourite drinking game movies. So one day I was with my friends and we were like, oh, we've seen High School Musical like 20 times now and done the drinking game quite a lot. Let's try a different one, let's try Descendants. And now we've become slightly obsessed with all three Descendants movies, which is, I recognise, is a problem, but yeah, it's really enjoyably bad, particularly the second and third one. They're way better than the first one. But they're just good movies to kind of drink and watch and not think too hard about. So I was really happy to find this because this is an original story, it's not just a movie or book, and it goes a bit wacky from what I've heard. So I'm really happy. This is, again, it was only 50p, it's fantastic condition, so I'm gonna read this and then pass it on to my friend who I watch the movies with, and we'll have a nice laugh about it. But yeah, it's slightly embarrassing. Shockingly, we have a 50p impulse buy next, and that is The Book of the Dead by John Lloyd and John Mitchinson. This is a QI book. It's basically a bunch of facts about dead people. Again, really good condition. It's one of the main things, I guess, that makes me pick up secondhand books, but I just thought this might be a kind of interesting book to kind of skim read. I probably won't sit down and read it like in one sitting, but I might learn some new stuff. I'm trying to get more into non-fiction, and this might be a good place to start. So yeah, bit of an impulse buy. I've had some QI books in the past, actually, years and years ago, and I really enjoyed all of them. They tend to be really well written, so this might help get me back into non-fiction. I almost didn't buy this next one, and it is Do No Harm by Henry Marsh. So this is the tales of a brain surgeon and kind of some of the things he's worked on. It's one of those typical medical books that's everywhere. This caught my eye because I did my master's degree 2 years ago and we did a Secret Santa, and for the Secret Santa the person I got asked for this book and I ordered it for him, and I thought, oh, that looks really cool, but it was sort of, I mean, it's not pricey, but it was like full price paperback pricey. So I was like, I don't read much non-fiction, I won't bother. But this was only £1.50. I couldn't resist, I thought I'd pick it up, but it is kind of badly ripped, if you can see that on the back, which is a shame, and there's coffee stains on the front, which I can probably wipe the coffee stains off. But yeah, I don't know when I'll read this, but again, trying to get more into non-fiction, and I know for a fact that he really enjoyed this book, so I'm hoping I will too from a psychology perspective. And the final second-hand book that I'm going to talk about, I literally bought maybe 20 minutes ago, and I'm so happy I did. This was such a good find. This was £1, and it is the Waterstones exclusive hardback, lovely pristine condition, Normal People by Sally Rooney. This is on my TBR anyway, and I think it's one of the books I'm going to pick for my goals for next year. Mild spoilers there. But this is about two teenagers, I think they're at college, and they kind of come from different worlds, and it's about their sort of friendship, maybe romance, I don't really know. It sounds like, it's weird because on paper it's not my kind of book, but it kind of is. But I was really intrigued to read it, and I saw this. I actually already own the ebook, but I saw this and I was like, this is beautiful, I have to have it, so I got it, and I'm so happy that I did. I love it. But yeah, so that is my newest acquisition. I now have two books I bought new, and one of them you will have already seen if you've watched my December TBR. That is A Christmas Railway Mystery by Edward Marston. This is a Christmas themed thriller. The Railway Mysteries I think is set in like the 1800s. Yeah, 1800s. And this one is about, there's like a murder which is being investigated, and then someone has also kidnapped the superintendent, so it's kind of a race against the clock thing. This might not be my kind of thing, but I've heard lots of praise from about Edward Marston, and I was looking for more Christmassy thrillery books, so I got this one. It was only like £2. I got some discount on top of that as well, so it wasn't even £2, but yeah, hopefully I'll really enjoy this, and I might pick up the other railway detective books, but if not, at least it didn't cost me a lot. The next book I got just because I was buying my mum 2 James Herbert books for Christmas. She's sort of collecting them, and it was 3 for £5 and they only had 2 of them that I wanted, so I picked up a third book for myself, and that is A Version of the Truth by B.P. Walter. So this is a thriller type book. I've never actually heard of this before, but the cover caught my eye and the description sounds quite cool. So this is told in 2 time periods, and it's about a woman called Julianne, and her son shows her something on his iPad which is shocking and is related to her husband, so there's some kind of secret going on. And then it's also told in 1990. It's about a fresher at a university, and she starts hanging out with some older students and some bad things might happen. So I assume the 2 things are related. I tend to like thrillers that are told in 2 parts. I like it when there's a mystery in the present and a mystery in the past, and you're kind of unravelling both at the same time, and they kind of all explode at the same time. But yeah, I have no idea if this is any good, not heard of the author, not heard anything about it, but it was a spontaneous pick-up to fill a deal. And I'll probably read it, maybe summer, because it's got like a swimming pool in the front, but yeah. Final book I'm going to talk about, I actually won it in a giveaway, and that is The Carnelian Fox by Kay MacLeod. I was so happy that I won this book. So, Kaz from Cats and Camera, this is her sister, and I watched a video by her ages ago that was talking about this book, and I thought it was already released now. It's like, oh, I spent ages looking for this book on Goodreads because I really wanted to read it, and it wasn't released yet, and then it was released and she held a giveaway and I won it, and I was so happy because I cannot wait to read this. As soon as all my Christmas and goal reading is done, I am picking this up. So this is about first of all, this cover is gorgeous. I really, really like it. This is about a girl who lives in a world where Pokemon type creatures are real, and she makes her fortune battling in an arena, but then a bunch of these creatures have been abandoned. She has to start fighting the ones, I think, because they've all kind of been like abandoned by people, and that's made them quite angry. And also there's a group who is against the monster's existence, I believe. There's a couple of elements going on. She has this adorable fire fox as her companion. And yeah, I just thought this sounded really interesting. I'm obsessed with Pokemon, and I love the idea of someone taking the idea of Pokemon and kind of making it so that the world has creatures, like people have actually physically made Pokemon in the real world, but then people get bored of them. Yeah, I'm so happy I won this. Thank you so much again to both Kaz and her sister, and I really, really cannot wait to read this, so you'll be seeing a review of this very soon. So those are all the books in my haul. It's a smaller haul than I usually do, but like I said, I have to be really careful about money. Let me know if you've read any of these, what you think as always. Let me know what your most recent impulse charity shop purchase is, because I really need to start going to that charity shop, even though they're only 50p. But I just keep finding such good stuff in there, and that's never happened to me before. I've never had such a good charity shop near me, so I'm quite happy about that. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, it helps me out massively, and I hope to see you next time.